Welcome to the Conscious Radio Network's YouTube channel. Become enlightened, have fun, and tell all your friends and family to share with everyone they know. You can find us on Facebook and stay up to date on our Facebook group, or find us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Our podcasts can be found on Libsyn, iHeart, Spotify, Google Podcast, and more. Most of all, remember to go to our official website at consciousradionetwork.com for podcasts, hosts, future shows, and scheduling. We also want to welcome our international audience. Don't stop now. Enjoy the community. Subscribe today.
This is the Conscious Radio Network.
Yeah. Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you might be on this spaceship we call Earth. Welcome to Conscious Radio Network's weekly podcast series, The Seance. I'm your host, Reverend Dr. Paul Mekas. If this is your first time watching, listening, please click subscribe, like, follow, comment, and listen to us wherever you listen to your podcasts. The God Within, our guest today. Attitude, perception, self-reliance, and the willingness to embrace the discomfort that accompanies change is a recipe for mental alchemy. Each and every one of us has the ability to turn any situation into personal gold, guiding people through the process of forging their foundational pillars of self, which primes them for rapid transformation, is the reason our guest today walks the earth. Building leaders by example is what he does. He sells real estate on the beaches of Destin, Florida. He is Josh Parish. He is an evangelist for the God Within. Let's welcome to the show, Josh Parish. Yeah.
Hey, man, I like that intro, dude. That was hot. Like, yeah, I need a recording of that for any other time I'm on a podcast. Like,
there you go. Which was it? The voiceover? I know someone who can do that.
You did it live, man. That's awesome. Like, that's.
It takes a while. It has taken a while to get comfortable. I still get nervous when I do the show. Before we go live. Well, actually, no. Before we used to do this live, and then if there's an issue, it's a bad show. So I can't afford it. So we record it, and then we go live.
There you go. Well, dude, the nervousness is the go juice. Like that's what knows you're about to just crush it. If you embrace it, I mean, that's what gets you going. You know. Exactly.
Absolutely. And I believe that is what we are going to kind of hone in on today, aren't we?
Yes, sir.
Embracing the things that give us discomfort and using that as a tool and using that as to thrive and move forward and take the world by the gonads.
Absolutely.
So how did this all start for you?
Man, great question. It started at birth. I had the opportunity to move around about every year and a half of my life growing up. Stepdad was in a major retail chain, and he was continuously getting promotions. And, I was a fat kid in nice clothes, kind of funny, and, people made fun of me and whatnot. And so, I mean, it's just like I could either like feel disempowered or embrace the change and recreate myself every time I moved, because I would – starting out, I'd be like, well, why are these kids mean to me? And instead of, I would be sad, of course, I was a kid. And, but then like, I'm a thinker. And that being said, I haven't told too many people this, but I dealt with tremendous sleep paralysis multiple times weekly from age, like from the beginning of, I could start thinking like 3 to 10. And I still get it every now and then in times of stress, but sleep paralysis, like that demon that lays on top of you and will not let you up, dude, that made me insane. Like that made me so mentally tough and made me consider death. And I was asking questions at a young age to my family and my parents, and eventually, like, I wasn't getting the answer. So I just stopped and I was just eating it. Like, I was just like, you're on this journey yourself, Josh. So, yeah, I mean, that's what really got me started on my journey here.
Wow. Yeah. And especially, I mean, I've never experienced the sleep paralysis and that. I every now and then have an encounter, a weird encounter, very rarely. And that's the thing. It does happen during stress. You know, when you think about it, it's like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Da, 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 da. And you feel the presence of something in your room and you know it's there. You feel it. And it's like, what is that? And I just freeze. I just continue laying on my side or my back and just pull the covers up over the thing and just pretend you're sleeping. Just forget about it.
Dude, last night, like, I haven't had it in a while, but I went to bed kind of late because I'm making the shift from real estate into this online transformational coach type deal, even though I've been coaching people most of my life. Got to bed kind of late, and dude, like, something grabbed my traps, like my shoulders. And I worked out multiple times yesterday for like content creation and whatnot, but like it was wild. And just like, I'm like, man, I'm not doing this sleep paralysis thing again today. And if you ever experience sleep paralysis, it will shake you to the core, because I mean, you have to submit to it. Like, you're awake, but like something is keeping you from being able to move. And like and I mean, I've never had like something, scratch me like a demon or anything like that, but literally laying there and just begging, within your mind to like, let me up. And to experience that 3, 4, 5 times a week, knowing it's coming, dude, like, and I'm a lover of sleep. I love to sleep. Like,
Oh man. Yeah, me too.
so, it's just, man, it'll definitely change you. And then, when it lets you up, like, you're like, oh my God, thank you so much. And one of the tactics for me to get over it, just like to leave the room, go sleep on the couch, go change space and hope it doesn't get you again. But yeah, I mean, it's just, it was wild that it happened last night, but I'm dealing with change again. So, it's going to happen.
Now, that being related to fear and embracing this, you ever gotten to the point where you like just throw the fear out the window and go, what is this? Actually, and you said submit to it, but going face to face and finding out what it is.
Yeah. Well, one, our fears, whatever we fear the most, it's a telltale sign of that's probably what we should be running towards. And the monsters within our mind, we make them a lot bigger than they truly are. Because if you have the guts to go and just smack the biggest person in the room's face, like, everyone else follows suit. Like, they're like, oh shit, like, this guy, like, he just
Right.
he just went after the biggest, baddest dude in the room, but then like those thoughts, those monsters in our head, they're not saying they're not going to be bad, once you uncover them. But then if you can pick them apart, like, you can methodically attack anything. You got to be a strategist. But yeah, I mean, I'm in a state of fear right now because, like, so I've had hundreds of jobs, been fired from most of them, like, and a lot of great wisdom, a lot of great training came from that, but so that taught me to never fear failure. Yeah, I failed fast, and what always scared me was the fear of success, becoming the man that I'm supposed to be, because I know Josh Parish is supposed to lead many great men, great nation, right? Like, I always say I'm going to be the king of Norway, because I'm like, I'm a Viking, like,
yeah.
And, you ever watch the Viking show?
Yep.
Yeah, dude. Like, I can't watch it because I'll watch an entire season and then I'll stay up all night. It just gets me so pumped up. But yeah, like, just, and the expectation of like the fear of success, the reason why I was scared of that, of like actually being who I'm supposed to be, is because then people expect me to show up and be accountable to be the man, to hold that responsibility, instead of just plugging along and just doing what everybody else is doing. It's like you're in the spotlight and you're ridiculed and you're critiqued constantly. And I mean, it takes a special person to really run after their highest self, but we all have the ability to embrace it. We can be our highest self with just the handful of action items that derive us the most value. Let's say just mastering the basics. I mean, mastery is found within the basics, repeated over and over and over. Like what what the samurai does. It's not that the samurai's got some crazy formula that nobody else knows. It's like, no, the samurai just like is on the mountaintop, just practicing the same like 7 punches and kicks like over and over and over, and chopping wood and carrying water, just to be like, when it comes time to do the deal, like that dude's like, he's ready. Like he's got his 7 moves, and like nobody does those 7 moves better than the samurai. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, just kind of went off on a tangent there, but yeah, I mean,
the simplicity of and that's the thing, is looking at the simplicity in everything. Same thing with music. I mean, there's really like only 4 chords. That's
right.
It, and then you just build on that.
Yeah. And then you can master anything. Just like starting out, the beginner and the master does exactly the same thing, but the master is just stuck with it for so long, and like he's learned a few other things, but it's always just reverting back to the most simplistic, most effective action items. Yeah.
And like you said just a moment ago, is people are expecting you to be what they want you to be, rather than you being who you want to be and how you want to be. There's so many obstacles out there. It's like you go to work, you go to the office, and people are expecting you to be in this box, that you got to perform a specific way that they want you. But it's like, no, I'm me. I'm individual. Let me carry out the job in the way that is me. So
we're a composition of the stories that we tell ourselves, basically. And if we we have to operate throughout the universe, throughout the world, with other people, but we can't let other people's stories tell us who we are. Yeah. Like I'm going through a breakup right now, or we've already broken up, but like she was telling me things that, well, I'm not, and I couldn't let that sink in. And then like people from my past, because I've talked about my childhood and whatnot, and I've moved around so much, like I meet people from my past and they remember old versions of Josh, and they've only had a certain handful of minutes with me. So that they're creating a story in their head of like, that's Josh Parish, but I'm way far past that now. And I mean, I could revert back to the old ways, but it's important to make sure that we're just not manipulated and swayed by the stories that we hear about ourselves. Because I mean, like people will tell you how you are to maybe manipulate you, or maybe they're just their perception's off, or maybe they're just in a bad mood. But yeah, it's so important to just know who you are, and that comes through sitting in silence and checking in with yourself in terms of like what you value and like what you enjoy and what you don't enjoy, and like it's just a whole check down list, the 8 pillars of self. And I mean, it's out there somewhere, but I did say it was 7 pillars, but I was like, oh, we got to talk about the money. So it was Pressum at first, but now it's Fempris. So we've got financial, emotional, mental, physical, recreational, environmental, social, and spiritual. Those are the 8, right? And if anybody can come up with another one, I'd love to hear it, because then we got to create another acronym and whatnot. But those 8 should get most of the way for all life encompassing. But if you sit down and you just look at those 8 pillars, and I can go in a little bit more in depth, if you want to hit me up. But you just do a check down of like what all this means to you, and like, what you do like and what you don't like about within those 8 pillars of your life, and you uncover these things, because we just don't have, there's not a lot of models out there for us to check in with all these, it's like we're a car per se, like we're a
Yeah.
machine, and we have to identify, these gauges and whatnot, so we can really just bring it to life. Because I mean, you might be like doubling down on the financial part, but then the other 7 pillars are absolute trash, And
Yeah.
I've had a lot of great mentors in my life, and so many people, I mean, they'll tell you like double down on your strengths, but really and truly, it's like you gotta look at your weaknesses too, because your weaknesses, if you're like full bore on your strengths, but you're leaking so much power out of your weaknesses, like that could be your Achilles heel. Like you gotta say, hey, like this is where, I don't know if we can say the F word, but this is where I'm messing up. I'm going to drop the F bomb, but you don't want to be great and then be taken out by your few weaknesses, right? So it's like you just got to have the guts to look at your weaknesses and attack those, because I mean your strengths are good and you can maintain those, but just having the power and the strength to like this is where I'm messing up, like. And once you identify your vices and where you're messing up, oh man, like you rapidly accelerate, you ascend to the highest versions of yourself. If you never take a back step, like, dude, all you're doing is moving forward. Like,
Yeah.
where you think you're going to end up if you're always moving forward, you know where you're going. Like you're going to go, like you can get to the mountaintop and then you're like, where's the next mountaintop? And then where's the next mountaintop? Like you just moving forward, baby. Like,
Mm-hmm. Especially, recognizing your weaknesses is, I mean, we all have some weaknesses, but recognizing what they are, because God forbid, people are going to recognize those before you do if you don't, and start taking advantage of it. And
they'll weaponize them for sure.
And use it as a
when
weapon.
the time comes, they will.
Yep. And you better be ready for it.
Yeah. And, it is scary to look at, it is scary to look at our weaknesses. It sucks. It's like, man, I'm not good at this at all. And nobody likes to look stupid. Like last night I was doing some boxing training, and I've done like 3 or 4 sessions with the guy, but I've hit the heavy bag a lot. So I can fight left-handed and right-handed. But man, like I was just all out of sync, and he's like telling me to do all these advanced moves and stuff. But, mastery takes 10,000 hours of practice. And then to be, proficient, 20 hours time on task of anything. Like you hit the clock, 1, 2, 3 seconds, time on task practice. You can be proficient in anything within 20 hours. But it takes, people wait 20 years to start that first, minute of practice because they don't want to look dumb. But if you can embrace looking dumb and really just get through that first 20 hours of just like super focused practice, you could do it in a week, or you could take 20 years to do it. But like, if you don't want to look dumb, just be okay with looking dumb. I mean, I know nobody wants to look dumb, but if you really want to go after anything, you're going to have to look dumb for a few minutes. Like that's the beginners.
Or play it off. It's like, if you don't want to look dumb, play dumb as a joke if you're starting off, like, and just be loopy about it and stuff like that until you feel it. And once you feel it, then you're serious about it. You're like, all right.
But if you're focused and you ask good questions, like nobody cares if you look dumb, because you're there to learn and you're there to learn and to be better. But if you go in and you're like pompous and like, oh, I'm the best and I'm a know-it-all and I do no wrong, that's when people make an example of you. Because like if you act like that, if you act like a snooty person and I can do no wrong, then they're like, F this guy, I'm gonna kick him in the teeth when I can. And like so just go in, just be like, I know I'm gonna suck. Like, just if you see me mess up, just like tell me some tips, please. Because everybody wants to offer their professional opinion. Like, that's the secret of life. If you want a mentor or somebody high level to talk to you and tell you their language of an industry, you ask them, hey man, what's your professional opinion on this? And you can get anybody to talk to you. That's the master key right there. Yeah. It's like people will chat your ear off about their professional opinion.
And I've noticed that a lot for those that are afraid to succeed is they're not humble. or they don't know how to be humble, and they're afraid to ask for constructive criticism.
Yeah.
So that's very important.
It hurts. Constructive criticism hurts for sure.
It does. It does.
But,
I mean, there's times that I'd be like, oh man, I don't want to hear this.
Yeah. But hey, I mean, it's how you move forward fast, you know?
Yeah.
So this is where I'm messing up. So I won't do it again.
Yep. So tell us about your program, how and what you do, your coaching. We got a little bit about the method, but if somebody wanted to reach out to you, let me go and put up your Facebook. You're on Facebook and Instagram at the Josh Parish.
I am.
Either Facebook or Instagram. So.
I'm really doubling down on Instagram. Facebook is lacking a little bit right now, but Instagram, the Josh Parish, that's where I'm putting basically everything. So it's probably best to hit me up there, but I have access to the Facebook. But if you really want the juice, it's on Instagram. Basically right now, I mean, because I am creating courses on all 8 pillars and whatnot, right before this show, I'm actually putting together my 21-day fitness transformation Jumpstart. So it's just a handful of action items to get our physical self in check. Mm-hmm. And basically what that encompasses is we've got mindset first. You know, we got to, know where we're going. And then we have to identify the negative self-talk. And and we just have to be in check with, like, we're going to persevere and do what we're going to do. Right. And there's a few other things, but then, then we talk about enhancing your posture, because like whenever we're, say, in, medical terms here, like, so this is kyphotic spine. All right. So if we're slumped over, this is a disempowered state. We're telling our bodies, like, hey, we're meek and we're in danger because our back is our shell. Right. Yeah. But in the animal kingdom, all the most dominant animals are just way out there. Like you got the lion, you got the gorillas. They're just at ease. They're laying out. Yeah. So we want to signal to our our nervous system we're at ease. So stretching out the chest and doing some back bends, whether it's over like a foam roll or a basketball or Swiss ball. Just open up as we breathe better. And then we make our, better decisions when our breath work is in check. And because, you control your energy stores with your breath. And then intestinal tract cleanliness, because we carry around waste in our guts. The modern American diet is so processed and whatnot. Even if you decided to hop on like a clean diet, you're still carrying around a bunch of poo plaque. And yes, poo is taboo, but you got to be cleaned out, if you want to feel good. And, I go through some tactics of that in the course and whatnot. But, yeah, I mean, that's where all the nutrients is utilized. And, like, if you don't clean yourself out, then all those toxins just seep back in your body because the intestinal tract is so porous. That's where digestion happens. And then just action items in terms of, how to think instead of what to think, winning in the moment that you're in, the samurai approach of, like, you're looking around and you're analyzing of, like, how can I win in this moment? Because it's all about momentum and, those incremental wins all throughout the day. And, like, you just generate all this momentum. And if you want to achieve something and you want to receive something, the step back is to do it, right? In order to do it, you have to be it. But before you be it, you have to act as if, right? Fake it till you make it. I don't really like fake it till you make it. But and that's just, that's reverse engineering. Like, if you want this, you got to do it. You got to be it. But if you're not it yet, then, you just got to start taking those steps as the being would be doing and then achieving. So, yeah, it's all foundational stuff, and then the exercise that I teach, it's not necessarily it's not CrossFit. It's not bodybuilding, even though I do like some more intense workouts and stuff. But I call, CrossFit will call it the burpee. I call it the get up because it's so symbolic. We fall down. If we don't get up, we die. Right. So you just get down on the ground, lay flat, you get back up. And dude, if you do it if you just do it over and over and over until you get tired, it's full body workout, it's mobility, it's strength, proprioception. So like the feeling of your body through space, it's coordination, it's rhythm, it's timing. So it's the sub level of, because in like fitness training, you have power, you have strength, you have speed, right? But if you take the sub level approach and you develop these foundational pillars of the fitness, but also everything else that I teach you, and you're just living these foundational pillars, oh man, because like you get your vessel in check, dude, you can, you become a magnet to what you want, because you radiate this energy that, success is not, you can go work towards success, but success is something you attract. And I'm kind of a woo-woo guy, but I'm not a woo-woo guy. Like some people can get way too out there for me, but in terms of and this is all like the God within, because we have the choice to do anything. And ultimately we know where we're screwing up. We know what we need to do. And that, that impulsive, do it. Some people, a lot of people suppress that, and yes, there's some things that we probably shouldn't do, but I'm all about impulsive action. Now, sometimes it screws me up, but if you get the feeling to act, go forth. It's probably what you should do if you're operating with the right intent. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, that's basically the transformational jumpstart, the foundational pillars, that course that I'm working on right now. It's going to come out here in the next few days. And, I do group coaching. I do online, or it's basically all online, group and personal one-on-one. And the one-on-one's a little more customized, so rapidly ascend a little bit faster. But with these foundational pillars, whether you choose the group or, the one-on-one, dude, it just takes you to a higher place for sure. It gets me pumped up. So
now, the course, has it got a timeline, 6 week, 8 week, 12 week?
Well, so the transformational jumpstart, 21 days. They say that, and there's all these contradicting studies and whatnot, but just for prevalent, it's 21 days to start a new habit and whatnot. Yeah. And since it's just, action items and nothing too crazy, just the first one's 21 days. But I actually like the idea of, instead people run off of 12-month goals, new year, new me. I like the idea of periodization, 12 weeks at the time. And you really only set one or two goals, 3 tops. And then, you got your three top goals that's going to take you to where you want to be. And then you have those 3 to 5 action items for each goal that are going to derive you the most value. And then you make sure that you work towards it every single day. You got your little checklist of the action items and the goals, but then you have your not to do list of your vices and your pitfalls. Yeah. And then you review it every single day. And maybe you even you have your end vision, your detailed end vision write-up of this is your story, this is who you are in 5 years. Because if you do enough 12-week periods of working on your weaknesses and, reverse engineering of where you want to go, 12-week periods, because then you basically have 4 really strong periods of success throughout the year. Mm-hmm. Because the way that 12-month goals work, everybody does it. I've done it before I came upon Russian periodization. It's a strength training protocol, but just it's goals. Any kind, it can be applied to any goals. But you start out, you're hot in January for a few weeks, and then you might make it to February, and then you forget about it for 7 or 8 months, and then towards the last couple months of the year, it's a mad dash to oh, this was my yearly goal, or you're just so New Year's coming up, I'll just do it again. So, but the 12 weeks, it really just holds you accountable. It shortens the time frame of success, and hyper focus is where it's at. Yeah. And I forget who it was, but a quote, he said, take your 10-year goals and figure out a way to do it within 6 months. So I know it sounds crazy. And over the last 3 or 4 years, I've done that. I'm like, this is my 10-year vision. How could I do this in 6 months? Because anything you ever want to do, someone's done it 10 times bigger, 10 times faster. So you're just limited by your own self-limiting beliefs. Yeah. So, you got to think big, you got to think powerful, you got to think out of the box. So yeah, what's your 10-year goal? Try to achieve it in 6 months. That's a powerful exercise. But yeah, the whole 12-week deal, working on 3 things only, because we always try to take on too much at one time.
Yeah, we always overload ourselves up, give ourselves too many goals. Like if people have all these, New Year's resolutions, it's like, okay, got to be realistic now.
Right.
And that's why most people they quit so early, either quit smoking or dieting and stuff. They quit so early that it's, I don't know, they don't stick to it. And also, like you mentioned, the self-limiting, we seem to be our own worst enemy is the way we think. And we sabotage ourselves all the time with either fear mechanisms, or afraid to do something just because we think something might happen. But when it never happens, we just sit back and go, oh, well, I guess it never happened. And then you lose out. You lose out on opportunity.
Too many people fall off the horse and just never get back on the horse just because, like in dieting or quitting smoking, just because like you ate an ice cream or you smoked a cigarette doesn't mean that you can't not smoke tomorrow and the next month, So I've transformed my body over the last 2 or 3 months and pretty much eaten nothing but chicken, rice, and avocado and squash, salt and hot sauce. Like basically almost every meal for the last 3 months. But hey, it works, right? Yeah. But at the same time, I went to grandma's house and had a couple of burritos, and I quit drinking, quit smoking pot. But I had a client come in town a couple of weeks ago. I had a couple of shots of tequila, right? Like last week, I was feeling stressed out. I smoked a joint. Yeah. But then I was like, I don't really care for like how this is making me feel right now. So like I didn't smoke another joint the next day, so I'm on a roll again, like like just, and it's cool to like be on the wagon of like never like I'm never doing it again, but like give yourself a break. Like, and I'm not saying like go dip off into your vices if it was an extreme problem, but and I love a cold beer, but I can't say I'm never going to go have another cold beer, but like, I just know that I can't be my most physical self if I'm drinking beer every day. I can't be my most sharpest mind if I'm smoking joints all the time. So, cause I mean, in my 20s, I was probably stoned 90% of the time. But I can't sell things. I can't be on cool podcasts like this if I'm stoned. Like some people can, but I can't. Like I'm too self-conscious when I'm stoned. So, if we just mess up our streak, just fuck it, just go make another streak.
Yeah. I'm waiting for that one podcast though. I'm trying to get Tommy Chong on, and that would be an interesting show.
He's got a wild story, man. That's for sure.
Yes, he does. It is life smoking.
Yeah. See if he could be sober for it, and then that's like it's just an alternative universe.
Yeah, right. Like I'm afraid to see him sober.
That's him being high.
Really,
being
Oh man. Yep. But so let's see. So real estate. How's the real estate industry doing right now? Is it
where I am in Destin, Florida, I mean, things are still selling for a premium. Like we had a huge increase in values. People found out about the Emerald Coast. It's a great place to be. And the beaches it basically looks like a postcard here. So we got popular right after COVID. It was a popular place before, but then it like really, really accelerated. With the interest rates, it just it squeezed a lot of investors and whatnot. I mainly work with investors, And like I had a lot of success in the space because I started out with a Hall of Fame realtor. Like she is a straight up bulldog, like sold $1 billion in just a few years worth of real estate. Wow. And I drank from the fountain of wisdom of sales, like with her. But, had about a year mentorship with her and had a lot of success after that, and I've been doing it for about 4 years now. But now I'm really just doubling down on building that personal brand online and really pursuing, these teachings that I've learned over my life to get it out there in the world. Because one, I would never have a statue, I'll never lead great army because I was a great realtor. It's all, I got to build great men, great women, lead great nation. If I want a statue, if I want to be king of Norway, you don't get to be king of Norway because you sold a bunch of houses, But no, market's still good here, it's always going to be good here, I think, unless something really, really bad happens. But just right now, because I know I can create a lot of momentum very quickly. But I'm just taking a break from it. But there's still people rocking and rolling. It's still a great place to be, and pretty much all of Florida, I think, is rocking and rolling. So
yeah. I actually got my real estate license during COVID, during the lockdown. A lot of my friends are brokers, and but even in the real estate industry, it's like it's tough. It's like you have that drive. You gotta have that. You are an entrepreneur. You are your own boss. You got to take the world by the horns and just learn how to market yourself. And I'm sure, has there been any agents that you've worked with that kind of got on board with some of your training and some of your program? Absolutely.
I work with a few realtors, and salespeople in general. I've been a salesperson and I've been in sales my entire life, and salespeople fail because they don't have enough opportunity to pitch, what they're selling. And it's not always the best salespeople that are the most successful. It's the ones that can create the opportunity. So I've never bought a lead my entire real estate career, right? Because if you're dependent upon a lead source, then that lead source may dry up. Yeah. And if you have to pay several $100s for a lead, well, that's just tapping into your resources. But, where I teach realtors, it's basically how to generate opportunity through public records, right? Yeah. So, and then I teach people cold call, I'm a master of cold call. I straight up know how to call people on the phone and get them interested, because I've had and I used to suck at cold calling because I would use someone else's script, right? Mm-hmm. But ultimately, it's called the informed sales call. And I study people before I ever call them. I study their situation, and relating it to real estate. I go in the county records. I see when they bought their house, what year and what things are selling for now, what else they own. I go and look social media, what do they like, what do they do, and then I get an idea of what type of person that they are, and then it's just, and if they have a spouse, or if I can find that information, just all these different things, and then I call them up, I tell them what basically, it's ring, and they pick up the phone, hello, and I'm like, John, and they're like, yes, and I'm like, hey man, you may own a house on Thomas Street. You ever thought about selling that thing? Because you could probably make $1 million if you did. And because I talked about the money, right? Yeah. And now they're interested and oh yeah. And I'm like, oh yeah, man. Just per the county records, you bought your house, for this, and then it's selling for this today. This house just sold down the street for this, and it looks like it's kind of the same. So, and then I don't tell them that I studied them, because I'm basically like a private investigator. I don't tell them that because that just creep them out, God.
Yeah,
but I put off I'm clear and concise. I respect their time. I'm super well informed with what's going on, and it's relatable. And we're all driven by money, especially because if I start off and I'm like, Mr. Wilson, how are you today, sir? the market is doing this and da 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 da, and like, have you ever? And they're just like, shut up, man, bye. Like, so it's just it's you got to respect people's time. You got to be clear and concise. You got to be, like to the point, but not too to the point. And yeah, I mean, it's super. Again, it's super super simple. But everybody wants to make things super complex. They think that, again, the master is doing something that everybody's not, but the master of anything can explain it to a second grader. That's what makes them a master.
Yeah. Saying it, describing something in layman's terms where a child can understand it. You
got to watch out for the people using those $5 words. Like the words that are that long, like, man, like, dude, I'm from Alabama, man. I can dial it up, but at the same time, like, I'm not spitting out those long words. Like, I don't want to have those, especially if you're just trying to get the point across. Like, just like, just give me the juice.
Exactly. Yeah. Tell me what it is. Tell me the truth.
And with the cold calls, like people starting out, and most realtors, they're not starting out with any money. So everybody's got a phone, everybody's got access to the county records, and it's just like, you're either going to do it or you're not, and then that's, and like, even though like I'm good at what I do, with the cold calls and whatnot, just there would be times like I look at my bank account like, oh man, I better go make some money. So that'd be like, I should go call people, like, but then at the same time, like, am I meant to do that? No, but I mean, I am meant to coach people, like, and the money, I'll tell you what, like, the money has helped me, has enabled me to do what I need to do, so like, because I wouldn't be here today if I didn't have a little bit of money saved up. So like, I'm living like, like, and now I'm selling coaching and stuff, but I mean, like, it's the beginning stages. So, but I know my shit. Like, I was just looking at my Evernote, my Google Drive from the past decade. And like, dude, I've got so much just like great information. I'm just putting it out on these courses and these power phrases and just stuff I've like studies, and just like, man, that's just one thing. Like, everybody should have an Evernote and a Google Drive and just take notes like crazy.
Oh yeah.
Because it helps so much to go review it.
Yeah. Journal everything.
Mm-hmm.
Just jot stuff down, stuff like that. So before we getting close to the end of our show, what kind of breakthrough advice or takeaway would you like to leave our listeners or viewers before we close up the show?
Change is the scariest thing that one could possibly think about, like, because it's basically like the next move, like the path is unknown basically. So, just be confident in yourself, keep the promises that you make to yourself, and, just be strategic. Like, just be like, think things through, but you're going to have to take a risk for anything worth having. So just bet on yourself and be self-reliant. Like, it's important to have cool people and people that are going to be there for you. But at the end of the day, you're born alone. You're going to die alone. So you're going to have to just like you are living your life. So just listen to the God within. Yeah.
Absolutely. You thinking on writing? You have a book by any chance? You thinking of writing a book?
I wrote a book about 10 years ago called The Metabolic Revival. But at the same time, it never sold a copy. It's just kind of floating in the Google Drive. I can shoot it if anybody ever hits me up and wants a copy. Like, I can definitely send it out your way. But yeah, I'm definitely, with the content production, and definitely books are going to happen. Like, it's inevitable for sure.
Cool. So people can reach you directly and check out your program specifically on Instagram.
Contact me on Instagram. I'm working on the course development through a platform called Thinkific. It's basically like schooling. It's going to have videos and one pagers, with bullet points and just all the good stuff that just gets the point across.
Yeah.
And, all the supporting information that you'd ever need. So, but yeah, best way to contact me is through Instagram at the Josh Parish. And let's chat. I'm pretty sure we can figure something out for you real quick to create breakthrough.
Heck yeah. Absolutely.
I love this stuff, man.
Heck yeah. I'm interested.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
It's all growth, man. It's growth. It's got to succeed. Get out there, expand, be the God, man. Be your God. We got
to be striving for something always.
Oh yeah. Success, and don't be afraid of success. I can't tell you how many times I've almost, every now and then you feel that you're about ready to break free, and it's like, oh crap, I don't know. What am I going to do? Don't worry about it. Just let it happen.
Right. Just let it fly, baby.
Yep. Absolutely. Josh, thank you, brother.
I appreciate you. This was fun. With you.
If you want to stick around just a moment after we get off the air, I've got a couple questions. Other than that, again, thank you for joining us here on the Seance. And other than that, I do appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on the Seance, the Conscious Radio Network. And until then, we will see you next week.